ba menu abe my vanche innocent e wo ha and nti ya na yeshisu no edoso but ya yere ye ho say at least 10 minutes we be to so I betimi awie na afi yetimi akoye ne innocent boko de
yeah
last week yetimi ahia na body nasa say boko de
oh nyame adom
ye de nyankopon ase
ebre ne wo mba ba
enye easy bi o ha wo sorry and sorry nanso ye say for God and country ntino ye be ne den wo se ye ne saa ye de nyame ase eda ase nso ene wadaji adabia unya emayen ya de ko weekend e chakra de say ye holiday e chiriwe ya anya bisu ye ni ye nyina ye begu abom ti nyame ya adom eja china ba last week na weekend na de be si weekend nsam no de bebre kwa ko say
I think that last week there be a topical issue recruitment but I think the president responded to the call.
Sure.
Why 100% increment in the base numbers now we decided within 4 years or before. I think that is good news because Makasa youth unemployment anywhere attracting your coercion and if there are measures a bit me afaso a ebetimi ateso ama mabunonya adwuma ya I think that it's all good, so it's highly commendable such an opportunity has been created and this time around yenye sumasidwa because this is the first time in so many years who say security agencies a year advertisement. The process is quite transparent, cultural exams and you free ma even though but you know say you are allowed to apply. In recent times, na kwanya man for faso kono. Won't take one sem crowd. So I think that, and there has been several modalities. Amana ayeway. The armed forces at the Omodia Babon, the 2,000 people at this year. Yes, on the form, the list is ready. Very soon they will report in the various saying training centers. So now we have 2,000 people who will be reporting to the various training centers. It's quite on record. And this time around, I think the Crown Faso they brought it to the doorsteps of the people. Because they did it on regional basis. So region and there are people, a lot of them who went through the process. Whom you know, who apply no qualify. I think that we need that opportunity. So I think that there are yet to be perfect. So I think that so far so good. On that.
All right. And some you be right. Your main topics, me pass way a free hotel. I think yesterday. 3 days today, right? 3 days today is na menya sign information. You start to say discuss say afedi Kano Foriata o hwe ne ye na say ya no waye na adwen say on pese obeba na waba be yin se misa ye bisa no SML na de keka ho cathedral na say so many issues ya razia yesusu se anko ye wosikasemu akoba be ya no ne keka ko de ahwa na omma because say no or fight say opeso ye permanent resident and say or ye citizen krampo anesa na otena America na afei so ye enra na ye nya ne tie say honorable Fred Agbanyo and Thomas Chipo one sign initiative fresh petition at the Aquacoma His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on Electoral Commissioner Jermensa and the deputies say still say Chief Justice say well establishing any prima facie case on the petitions they di ka ba na so ewo gidie say niema bi nkoyie kire say wo say mo sanitize Electoral Commission no mo yi wo mo ho no efront mo so asa afale new petition de ekọ innocent yenka we mi mu ma asa na yakọ your main topics no so
okay on Kenoforiata Makacha said the gentleman is a spineless coward and he said Ghana for so this is a finance minister what hold such a sensitive position abina kwa we unrian mo no mo ye adwuma nyina no dodo na wo kroma the face court face untumi na ma okọ court yi obi anchechere no and where he decided to file your saying statement of no case, court no to go here. One man of kwan say on be opinion defense assembly or will be with your Democrats and advance it to an age here. Aban bi en ho betimi aba obetimi akekere kwabrane na koto prison. In recent times na ye hu bi say attorney general and amanfo nam suma si digwa omo keka nsem aboma fa ye fa say to force na koto prison. But in a normal sense, such things, should not happen. And I think, say, aban ba ye were proved sufficiently, say, in as much as people want people to be prosecuted, obia niwa ya fano kwati kwan so anaya moano edna to prison. The only for ombedi wasem obeko court and ubenya wude in court. And I think that is quite proven. So it is highly nonsensical for any normal person on platform biswaka say kenoforiata ba omo onya fair hearing and now ba aban no any niye. And that is the sole justification why kenoforiata should not come. I think kenoforiata is a spineless coward. Your friend said, "It is a Ghana needs to so." And it is really shameful. Say, Afenyo Markin and his people ever standing up in Parliament, and they have no sense of dignity, no sense of decency in the politics that they do. To call on this coward to come back to this country and respond to the cause of the people of this country, because President Mahama Nefre Kenoforiata, NDC Nefre Kenoforiata. The people of this country or handle or musika sem mufise niema bakwa na mienu bi ankoye. But these people don't see anything wrong with Kenoforiata te oti baby. Now they will stand on their feet and begin to criticize Aban say onye you. And I'm saying say your politics and decency woman and can nobody will even grant these people space to talk about anything. Because so what is the moral lesson in this particular thing? And then somebody can also be in the NDC and mess up tomorrow then the person will just go away. And it's the reason why say the bill be called parliament. Ebema individuals or more dual citizenship abeye hold public office in this country, and for me I think that is highly nonsensical. We need to just consider that particular option again, because omo Ghana for no mukura single citizenship of this particular country kura no oye neema no na se ohu se waya de bone a odwane kotena obi man so onye na dwen so obakruma. Now, Obama people will do our citizenship. Abe hold sensitive position in this particular country. There is no guarantee and assurance that such people, after Obama mess it up, they don't have a refuge elsewhere. They can go and stay their life. And I know that they say Nipano Kwa, and I'm saying a politically related offense. They know the Herculean task that the government will have to go through to bring them back in this particular country. Kind of for any US citizenship, only Canadian citizenship. Look at the stress we are going through to bring him back to this country. So you can imagine Obi Okra US citizenship and Okra Canadian citizenship. Now what a ministerial or any other sensitive position in their man, now what mess it up. You can't do anything about it, you understand? So I think that particular consideration, enough thought need to go through. There are certain positions that they are very sensitive. When a person holds a dual citizenship, the person must not come anywhere close even in the United States of America, in as much as people with the dual citizenship, hold position. There are key positions that are reserved for citizens only, and there's a reason for that, because things are let you into the sensitive national security archives, where your security, your clearance are very high, where you get brief of sensitive information. Your allegiance must be only to the state. Any time people will have absolute confidence in you. Say you are truly Ghanaian, but not have Ghanaian. So I think Parliament will have to go back to that particular bill and look at it again, because the Kenoforiata situation, I raise the eyebrow on situations like this. This coward is just a Ghanaian, and today he's somewhere unwilling to come. So you can imagine another person or no dual citizenship yet be created such a situation. Then I don't know those behind pushing this particular agenda, but I think at the interim it is absolute nonsense for us to be considering this particular thing when we have this kind of matter at our hand. So I think we need to also look at it very well. So I think that there's an American Attorney General the obey. The special prosecutor has been abashed on the SCA can be by all the documents indictment that must be submitted has been submitted. The proceedings in the United States of America is almost in the coming days. I think that the proceedings will continue. And the detention one also so now I said the onus is on the to discharge the credibility or you'll be over some of mine. And we see growing up, you believe we say obi a man a kwenya so some mind be a responsible person. If nothing at all, a can ever be part of you. Whatever the situation is, only you can offer insight into what actually happened. So there is no sense in it. A former government appointee will run away from this country and be fighting the country up. And then that brings back to argument. I know I have in the past to say. When I was in China, now who is our finance minister? Oh no, your finance minister. Oh, no, what finance? Our friend, what facility so maybe. And this is how he is within the NPP. He never respected anybody. Even at the time, the NPP people wanted him out. You saw the reaction as a forum. At the time, the gentleman was visibly sick. But at the time, he did not even resign. But today, this coward is somewhere telling people, say, he cannot face accountability. That tells you the crop of people are brought into this particular country to lead us. And for me, I think that going forward, we must begin to build a certain sense of decency in our politics. And who shall say, Nipana bring them on board. To say the affairs of the country, are people of higher moral repute, people of higher integrity. And in another day, there will be absolute confidence in these individuals. Ghana Nibe who say, indeed, Nipana Edi Jumadi Nashan and Sano will do in the name of the state. They will do the things right. Now, not because Obina Denaba and they are doing things or working at the behest of certain individuals or certain interests. And another day, when they mess up, these things that they are not amenable to accountability and so forth. And it's the reason why this thing is happening. So I feel ashamed. And I wonder why the president himself, President Akufo-Addo, is quiet over some of these things. Because as long as Kenoforiata stays out there, bringing a huge indictment and credibility will be there. Credibility will be but further not damage the family origin where they came from. And so there are several instances you hear his family members talking nonsense within the media, and you listen to some of these things and you get angry. The last time I found your marking in the group, we said Obiya Kenoforiata t-shirt. Papa t-shirt. The guy is a criminal fugitive. He owns the people of this country answers. You have no sense of shame. Our friend say, now you are worried about people who are calling for his return. You understand? That's what I'm telling you. Morality in our politics, there is absolutely nothing. People occupy higher offices, have no decency. There is no sense of shame. And very often you see people dabbling and talking nonsense on platforms, but they don't feel they are embarrassing themselves. The reason why you find this cheap justification in the Kenoforiata's absence, and people are defending. So we will continue to monitor the process. That means there be a cast away a girl near. Don't worry, because Kenoforiata has not come. Because the guy is being treated as a criminal. He is in a jail, in a detention center, like a petty criminal, like a coward, a spineless coward he is. He is languishing in detention center just like any other criminal. You understand? That alone for me is enough. But for a whole finance minister, that jail, that is enough. What I say? Boni no mudi and say boni bekum boni for and one on the muno and a yas and call back chrome higher and report your namsi and yet CTV online and now Accra online and now my joy city local media yana back capture. But today the tentacles of his shame is widening to the extent that BBC are reported, CNN are reported, the Ghanaian minister now the Ghanaian minister now another detention center now. All the news portals in the United States of America today are reporting on some of these things. That tells you, shame now no gusina all town. He's just advertising nothing but this shameless poster now what take and I know they start to continue to pursue what we can do within the limit to ensure we bring him back to this particular country. And the hearing now of course the US you see you can't just bundle people, and sometimes because of this human rights kind of constraints in no, it makes it highly impossible, and this is a politically related case. Unlike any other petty criminal, you can easily file indictment and have the person repatriated, as compared to it's a totally different thing. Kenoforata and his lawyers are privy to this harsh reality. They are just leveraging on this particular advantage, messing up, creating this sort of situation, making the government look bad. They say Obi Aye, and then on the side of the other lady too, I don't know how the processes have also gone. Whoever, I think that she must also be brought back to this particular country. The last time the Attorney General gave us a briefing, and said the processes are quite advanced. In as much as we pursue Kenoforata, this is a convicted felon who must also come to this country and also face jail. Because I believe in consequences must always be available. You be lower down to people or more occupy position, because you have fought to me now because we know we are not on this platform because you change our viewers. A privilege be so when you have that particular opportunity, you need to respect the people. You need to give them what they do. But you think that when we are senior you can just do anything and get away with it. Do accountability. Don't be a coward. Come and answer. You understand? And very often you see people Ghana in some way by easily no me yare Ghana nkwa na obi nyasa bia na no for the play ati se okobu obi dan agu ya che na o yare kind of ya fancy Canada Japan ye bi obi a we declare war wa anwonafo so ya che wa o se ni BP aba na se for no. So these are tactics, these are cowards so o yare yesu ya mani be omo num o gina platform so kasa they can't even face their own shadows. And that's what I'm telling you, that when you see these people, they are nothing but spineless cowards, and we need to see them as such. So for me, I am not worried too much. The process is ongoing, but as long as Kenoforata stays there, it's a huge indictment on the credibility of the NPP. And today, our General Secretary Bejinasiya press conference, said they need to even call him to come back to this country, and he sought to justify why Kenoforata should stay. And these jokers today are masquerading, wanting Ghanaians to give them power to come and lead this country. I know that they know why the baby and from my imu. Yamfa to me mau na meraso se be yi wa no a wo se memma ato forcing sat in this country, face accountability. That in the face of this, your friends connivance among government officials to have him thrown into jail. No, he was in Ghana defending himself. Nyankopon na intervene here, and I'm going to cover Japan and Japan beti omoto. The connivance was quite clear. There was a criminal conspiracy among the top echelons of the NPP party to have him incarcerated for no reason until Japan came out and then blew the way on it. But they sat in this country, they all sat here and faced prosecution. Wabie bank and several other people, individuals who only bank a credit, some who are some bank. Museo, I think, or a victim to such particular way. And today, this coward is out there asking for US citizenship at this age. We are in the young guys. We are not even begging for citizenship of another country because we are proud to be here. What I say, doing what we do best just to ensure we build a legacy in a nation. You better be bequeathed to the generation yet to come. They will be proud of us. What I say, at this age, one messy at the economy. The economy of Ghana was left in tatters. Today, and you have no sense of shame. Or you don't know man who are for US a corporate citizenship. I think we are watching the process, and I think that Kenoforata there, he is nothing but a criminal fugitive. He's a shameless, spineless coward. Anybody should see him aside. As long as he stays, it's an indictment on him and his family. And the time will come. Sorry, and Ghana will tell him that Papa was na or we are sick of Ghana. But Ebianka will be you and common Casa what I American. So it's going to be a huge way on the family forever, a dent. And forever we'll be watching now for anybody who will be coming from that particular place. Sure. Because and now we had the echoes who are Cuba here. And there is a blockade, your friends are blackout in as for there has been a number of considerations. Castro, Fidel Castro in the Baba, ideal candidate that people think say in the face of the crisis, as or no, and obey or minor, but because he's related to Castro and the name of You know, the people are saying that we don't want to have anything to do with your friends said the Castro family, and that is the same thing to do with Kenofurata and the Kufuado family. I want to say President Kufuado, I can say Kenofurata because Ghana for a demand is not John Mahama, it's not the NDC, it is the people of this country. You are a former president. If you respect the people of this country, you will speak to the gentleman to come back because nobody, President Attorney General can. Say obia nye na dwen say o ma fi here na mo obia no enu abi no mo de ma wo nya anything special but come because you are the center of all the criminal dealings that happen in this country. What stop you from coming? So for me, I think that he's just a spineless coward. That is the word I want to put on him. A spineless coward who should not be taken serious. All right, new fresh petition. Yes.
Kind of saying honorable you can Tesha
on Fred Agwenyo.
On Fred Agwenyo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and see now we be free more because first one
I think sir you see your Maya my culture say we are no assembly senior one it is there and I'm telling you be ejina. Yes, accountability near system. No, we don't hold people to account. I didn't farmer nyame republic. Obia kodi ni sabi ni same hunu no. Oh, yam farmer nyame, yam kwa na yesum nyame. But body your friend bone ope baby a na ma me ne papa fura haya. But yeah, and some no ba. How na be one from penny for ya pacha. So I know the day no. People, there is enough incentive for motivation for people to. Oh yeah, bone na. Oh what did that so? What I say? Sa na tie. Akwa say. Yeah, say I hear for money is so share. What is the secret ba kobo bi card header. Oba yo hear ni wa kobo bi card header. The malam na wo kroma na roman sofo no wona we have adanchire gina pono ni kopacha in my sa na tie. And I think that we must begin to allow these punitive sanctions to apply to people I'm a bit offended on mine, no, because me maka Jemensan and Nkrofo, I don't have any personal beef against them. My beef with them is they have committed a cardinal sin against the constitution of this particular country, and that particular sin, because it is a scar on the conscience of our democracy, and it's going to be there forever, an indelible scar, and we cannot just overlook. Look at a move on and say, yes, how can any normal person on his right senses sit down and say, a particular group of people will not be given a representation? I understand Parliament is involved or was involved in this whole thing. So we deny the people representation. But the key architect of this particular criminal defense orchestration, the Electoral Commission and in for because there was underpinning political agenda to ensure that particular seat will be won by Amewu. It was an orchestrated, well-rehearsed plan. These people set in motion, and they were able to use the available state resources to execute it perfectly to the standard. After this particular injustice, the Electoral Commission did not take any step to remedy the situation that brings their culpability in this particular way. So I have listened to a lot of people who argue, and your Electoral Commission, your friends saying, your Parliament, it is the core responsibility of the Electoral Commission to ensure, because demarcation of constituencies and so forth lies solely at the doorstep of the Electoral Commission. What Parliament will do is to give it a legal backing, a legislative power, certain legislative energy at the back, but the decisions, everything involved will have to be done by the Electoral Commission. And even within the period now, did the Commission take steps how to rectify this injustice done? The answer is no, because they were all part of this criminal conspiracy just to ensure that a particular candidate goes through. So for me, saying obey the petition asking for the removal of the Electoral Commissioners and then as a form, I think that is due. My culture say any way be against the Electoral Commission I support, because you see, I think that the presence of these people in the past endanger the prospect of our democracy. It took away credibility, and people didn't have trust and confidence in the Electoral Commission, and today it is the same. The only thing is that government is not changing,
and
people think that they are just trying to, realign themselves to keep themselves. Pressure will not be on them. But the fact is that we cannot forget about what has happened in the past, because nipa bebre nyomuwo okota chimana the entia amanfo ko gina electoral grounds ho say omo observe elections no ama fracas ni see ye ni because they didn't have trust in the electoral commission because no mo adadwuma die ni suban bi adia we opposition and now we hwan you will not trust them. So that beseech in our course was because of lack of trust. So I know the day they see can't we relate it to the electoral commission dealings it might not be direct but indirectly a part of the whole thing now. So for me I think that and even some of the individuals or kasa say ya want a panel on the team boom 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 and you never catch say register na the 2 aba no na at the time Ghanaians were very angry. They wanted sensible explanation from a commission. At the time he was speaking garbage and nonsense to the people of this country because after all they had the backing of the establishment at the time. So it's a Ghana ni a peeved that they have the right to be peeved, write this petition and have them. And even within the top echelons of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Apia Henesa or Nason Namo, Tescon official, and your friends say, Machoman DJ Mensachi, or Munina have their friends say known political ties and so forth. So, Sanyama way end gender credibility. We might have moved on. BBNC, a changing government, everything is okay. But democracy, I dear about who managing our trust and confidence in institutions. And these institutions, must be seen to be working without any external influences. So you will not expect there will be an overreach of executive hand be on any of the institutions before overacting. Naturally, this institution must be apartisan, neutral, effective, and very robust in their dealings in a very independent fashion. Engender trust, inspire confidence, and Ghana nibenya hotoso baby, not the government of the day, and yet Obia or steering the wheels of these institutions, then trust will not be there. Over the years, the IPAC platform has been a dialogue platform where political parties meet to engage. Dialogue. Sabaya young cocoa to Sabnaba, young tenancy, and out of IPAC, your friends saying, your friends saying, colored ID card, transparency box, and so forth. It has always been a deliberative platform. German San anyway by they transform the place into what you call electioneering platform, where they enlisted toy parties and jokers to go and vote. At the end of the day, the element of dialogue got lost. No one discussing anything. And the Ashada Kwasa these toy parties, jokers are Sabi, constituency crew, Nibu baby. You saw a political party, and they were given a vote, and they were making silly and senseless decisions at the time. At the end of the day, Ghana need trust in our institution. We're gone. What I say? So for me, I think that I don't know whether IPAC is still effective or whatever it is today. I mean, maybe Abaya is saying they will come down from their high horses and begin to, speak sense because be a person protecting the Juma. And they've all gone quiet. They mentioned for the last time I said in Kankra, maybe on an say quietly working in as a forum, but we need to call them out. South Subamboni way na di Africa nya asem ni sia yem fama nyame asem ni sia yem move on asem ni sia ya amanfo beka ho asem ene na ya wie ni o eno anti na ene nam ha. So I think it is right and I commend your friends Walonyo and others because Saudi will cry a check the earlier petition there call I'll be surprised if this particular way was not captured. Your friend is saying because petition you might not know the content. President don't find out the exclusive powers to know. But I can anticipate from where I'm sitting. Say, we no can be. Elections now or deny the people, and I wonder why the people over the years have also been quiet because when you are part for a system for a very long time, you normalize it and it's like it's okay. That is a problem. We must begin to fight injustice. We must rise against situations and occasions like that. The power bearers, institutional head, and everybody will realize that people now can't know their left from their right because and some way I'm for fun to try. Just imagine say Nejo Mahama power in there. And now even the Electoral Commission was saying now when you baby no come here. No say for some a day before election no come here from say the whole of the Menshia constituency Montwa ba munya representative. The Kade be see Okroma say. Na Ghana ne obi ni pachen obi. So why were people quiet when that particular injustice was done to the people? Because your course is here they could come and share free man. Do you know what will happen in this particular country? Among for turning into a tribal kind of conflict, right? But what I say. So this is the kind of narrative I have built around our politics. Very nasty. And for me, we need to straighten these things up. And yes, in the future, because there is always a president. Yeah. You understand? A president will come and also decide, say, we are in one constituency. Yeah. I can decide to do it at 5 constituencies. Or there is president. President in this year, every so-called sensible mind was quiet. Because but we didn't and these are some of the things that I think that on that particular basis the Electoral Commission and as a forum must be punished severely, not because we hate them, but because we need to send a message, loud and clear one, to people. Say going forward, such nonsense will not be entertained. Oh yes, institutional header, you don't own it, you are working for the people, and who go wrong, the people will come after you. It is on that basis that I say, I support the petition, and I am looking forward to see what will come out of it.
All right, you better also now share other issues aka. Ukomra shebe jefie mu sisi niema mienu na trende wo honomo. Minority say aban hwe na yesi scholarship secretary say sponsor nkofo kwa amana ne kuhia de na students omo UK no ahwe be deport o ma ba because ka esum ho no enye ekaketwa. And a minority say abain and na onya kasa won pesika na onfa nkonkotua say sika no me pese e gina parliament wa na ye claim we so e free ho yes abain the value for money office bill but minority say a unholy acts, so they will not be part of it because they think it's a duplication of procurement authority.
Yeah. They did about scholarship, and I think that is sad and very embarrassing. Say, scholarship, whether through fair or foul means, na winya with their quarter baby so there, and the state agiatum with all the guarantees and other assurances that the state will pay your fees. Now what could do, we know what could come, and at the end of the day, you don't have working hours enough. I bet me pay for tuition and as for to a pointer. You are being threatened, say you be thrown out. And sadly, when you finished started at the early stages of the John Mahama administration, it came up, and the president was forced to find over millions of ways to go and settle part of the bill, and then they give us a certain short space in as a forum. But you see, we better have a catcher say, Bonia NPP dear Ghana no, NPP ne Kufuor bind dear Ghana no. It will take ages. Sometimes can't seminar. Obiagwe say ebia umpe nipa binuma sem. No. We don't have any personal beef. Or former president, papa nanka unka but it's not just about being president. It's about being president with the responsibility. But they created an avenue where a certain criminal cartel were liberated because there was no leadership in place, and they messed up this particular country. President Mahama Baye, the government is unable to award people scholarship to go to UK. The government is unable to award people scholarship to go to Canada and US and other places. Why? Because the previous government deliberately a car a team over millions of dollars, pounds, and they go. And the scholarship secretariat a handicap in terms of resources. Government funding, there wasn't any budgetary allocation for such payment. So government, and yes, a forward payment, arrears. And government sikanen as a form, is structured in such a way, say, wouldn't mean kwatam sikam free baby as all the kwakwaya. It must have been budgeted for. But previously, was it budgeted for? Because these people were using it to satisfy their cronies and their friends. And the last time we went details into the scholarship, how they were awarded. Individual man scholarship, yani ya fa oyere na wo ma na ya so omudo makogu UK. Ukodura ni kunu nu kwabrane not them na yiri so ade na wanye ye ofie na wase antro letter abra scholarship secretary say ne busu ani ewu nti oba aba ye nti entwa ticket ma no na sabi ayafa kwabrane so atwa ticket ma no de aba ye no. So all this nonsense na person use no me akama use
Because I don't have
abufu adeanche ya na kwabrane nso atwa ticket amano no de ko na ni kunu te dem na yiri suande na yetua na maka na yetua. This nonsense happened in this country to the extent say they were using the office to do visa racketeering. There were people in Ghana, they never travel to Togo, but they were getting stipends. They turned the scholarship secretariat into a money making machine and an obudi a make sika. So the crimes na ye can one save me and consequences in a bit because today it is not Akufo-Addo who is going to find money to pay. It is the John Mahama government, whether you like it or not, you need to find money. You understand? That's why Yemubi Kase, some of these people need to be put on notice and be prosecuted in public. And Abrante ya Otina Scholarship Secretariat, yes, I'm crossing near my parliament or no shamra.
Yeah, shamra.
And he feel the body be protected. My culture says if there is any decency in our politics, and such a character would never get any chance to parliament. But today, if these people are in parliament, you expect me to respect people because they are in parliament? Because where they are coming from, they came through certain dealings, deemed criminal. So you man because Onwa broker almost 23 million pounds out to UK alone, and we just on parliament. And also, and you expect me to respect such a character? And America said the word honorable, not that prefix, you know. Yes, here for to because there are a lot of people working in that particular house who don't even deserve half of it. Half of that 89 Kasakra don't deserve. Yes, it's really embarrassing, you understand? Because these are the things, and there is no decency, they have no shame. Ghana and Kwana, criminals have no shame. They come up on their feet and against the numerous sins that they've done now, still seek to and now NPP na catch John Mahama say yeah, it's good. Almost Ghana for they can, but the thing is who created that mess? Senka scholarship no cry for kwan papa so and ye award ye na ye create debt no to hwa then you know say but ye share that confer short courses the buy ya sa short courses na car at the ball Ghana no enya de ketwa kwabrani timi ekodi ye fa say 1 week e wo UK na ye twa plenty kitama no wakwa aba na ya mana ye fa say pound 4,000 on fa nko didi for 1 week. Yes or ko obi kwa no ne yire ne ma na ye ko 1 week akwaye bona and na chicha my Christmas biscuit and your mind no if we na asem we are making okwa circle obi ja bridge ase o ono so ya Ghana ni o oton so tax teacher ni biti akura ase ne salary ade otimi to a bicycle and they are all working their asses for the nation. Obi ya doctor ojina theater a otimi kotwa obi na blood a gas into his face either HIV or whatever no wanya because onye bono nkobo adwaman but adwuma all yenti and certain unwitting criminals through this means are making money and with me say yan hwe ya ebedu no bi aba sorry and nobody will work down there obi aba sorry so about politics because especially when you sit down and you see say nipa no mo gina soro no dodo na say be wonni nyansa and you are far intelligent than them obi aba sorry and at the end of the day no there will be no workforce. That is why all the young people if you go to the university now for obi join either TESCON or 10 they want to be politicians because they want to be young people who will be driving flashy cars. Nobody want to, but leadership is a reserve for few with the brain to be able to come out with policies, plans. A lot of people can do politics, but few can be leaders. But I don't know. You know, all you need is to know somebody. That is what take it. You can be an idiot and still rise to political prominence. All that you need to do is to have your friends connections, and then you come and mess up. I know that nobody will hold you accountable. After all, then they see. So you see the system. So we must begin to realize all these things, these indecencies. Yes, policy in our politics. Now, who said governance is a priority area. It's not for any idiot. It's not for any fool. It is a reserve for people who are up in brain. To navigate the storms of life. Now, education will have impact. Indoctrinating into people. They need to be patriotic, to be good citizens, and to serve their nation. By our down when I was over DC 4 years ago. Now, bicycle crown told me that. after 4 years was see a dan is legon and as a forma you think over catch over some great teacher ni and over catch over some quietness so that is the kind of message I crafted for people, and I think say endanger the person and those who might not want to join, they will sit down and form a resistance group, and it will develop into armed group, and they will take their anger against the state, and it will turn into this kind of civil rebellion very often you see in other countries. So we must be very careful and hasten slowly and begin to punish crimes. Na nipa no mudi ya bone no continue to thrive, move from one area to another, then it means there is a reward in criminality. So at the end of the day, if there is a reward in criminality and there is no punishment, then we are encouraging people to engage in more criminal activities. You understand? Because if somebody can sit in parliament, mess the place up like this and go on and ranting omo kabom a omo say cocoa board say near and ebinum di go parliament and then people di bonia na onye sika ni the next place is go and dump themselves in parliament because mo kwaya hwe wo ho kwotena kwaje ebinum kwaje nkwase achinje compensate bejo, and then it ends there. So I know the day know what is the credibility of the parliament. This is an institution, a revered one. Parliament by a place where you review documents, you share nema at your mind see. But very in recent time you see the debate and the argument that goes on there. We are going to do to say Accra inti sebisuku yoko bi because argument of making a very feeble, very childish and very infantile, emotionally laced argument. And the intellectual firepower are very low. You understand? And people get disappointed. So I think that it is upon all of us. Sometimes we need to elevate the conversation beyond this NDC NPP thing, because NDC NPP thing the man for find the confidence to do this nasty stuff. Because on say I told the idea, Obenya Nkrofobi or social media or much supporting no. I told the idea Obenya Nkrofobi more defending no. We should stop defending nonsense and crimes of people. Because Nipa Bonina would know who defend the crime. He doesn't even respect you. You don't use your time defending some of these absurdities and nasty stuff. We must begin to build a certain national agenda. That national agenda will grow beyond political and partisan interests. Maybe making sure say the interest of Ghanaian no a key paramount, and it's me yes man trust me you bet me and I can't and I'm sure President Mahama will not sit down for them to be expelled. Wherever there is money behind, he will try and go and sort it out, but must it be always the situation I would about by more will be mess creating our over papa Nipano will create the mess. John Mahama will come and create your friend saying sinking fund. Obe created this fund Jessica Gum Kwabrane ba no obedini nyina wasting abokato no waja na hoko. You build the foundation. Obe see hospital here Kumasi asi Sagleme asi high profile infrastructure way Kwabrane ba no waja me na guo ye de say yenwie sika mfanye ye hu ye Kwabrane betimi atam sika na wakwakoto the whole estate one na yere because when ya national your signals blue sika no ono colonial creating account odi didwa they go forest him twitwa the man amount for forest nya na ma de nya na papa de no wuntumi twitwa ton eje your friend saying so that is the difference. So I think that we need to resolve this particular way in the interim. Say not ending to the credibility of the nation. I know the president will do that. And then coming back home, these unwitty, unintelligent criminals who destroy and brought us to our knees, My culture said the Attorney General and the various agencies with the prosecutorial powers cannot allow this thing to slide. Manchester, you say NIB, your father say you go for your investigation.
BNI, ya reverse.
Almost reverse
BNI.
Yeah. Oh. NIB so assign your bank will come out. You didn't see a good.
Say NIB. Bank na say BNI.
So good. So I think that they need to. I'm told someone Freezy. I said, you see, never do some of these things behind the scenes. But modern governance is not behind the scene business. It's a front view. let people know. Yeah, titi, ya fixing asset. Yeah, titi, ya jisika we have. Let people know. Let people know who and who monies have been taken from. Now, okay, come on, ya 160 antiminyanda, 160 we free one. Because already know a man for pinpointing who they perceive to be criminals or what sika. So whoever be a interrogate, I'm told behind the scenes, a man for na poba catch and so no kobia is a beer no so yoko or no one can't win. But people want people involved in this criminal deal to be named and shamed. And here behind the scenes, here do as well, and some men behind the scenes are my you see. Governance in India and a new biadia. We say the paramount interest of the people must be on the front line. Now, I know that spearhead everything that we do. There is no behind the scene dealings in politics. No, everything must be in the public glare. The other topic is what?
The value for money office bill.
Office. And I now over there, Kwabrania support it. I won't support it. I'm not support it. I won't support it because the existing structures made it possible to execute the biggest heist in the history of this country under Akufo-Addo. The biggest political heist ever executed in Ghana happened under Akufo-Addo because they fractured all state institutions. One of the institutions in recent time, the most useless the procurement your friends saying authority in as for it's a useless it got to see you not people no town contract me boy or the contract go up and pass or town man or town man for the PPA is supposed to give your friends say okay to various contract sums and as for as to whether they've gone through all the laid down legal your friends say prescriptions and as for the gentleman was selling contract to people and the PPA there Robert stamp. What I say, I think we need. That is why John Mahama say, "Oh yeah, reset or say, oh yeah, restorative."
Yeah,
it's not just say, "Oh chichi will be." Now you need to come out with measures that every man are tough and stringent.
Yeah,
and this is one of the layers. And you don't expect the criminal people, the criminal conspirators who in the past, did what this to this particular country, you don't expect them to support. PPA and effectiveness and saying over the years it has been a rubber stamp. And now we're in recent time, even some of the deals in the contract are more allowed to go through. It shows that the entity is a useless entity. We understand. Either we restructure it and make sure that they do their things right, and now say power be because they have the authority, they have the power to do everything. But interestingly, they will continue to allow some of these things to slide through. So anything ensure accountability. Say this is minority majority kodisika, and as a majority business about buying a car, and I mean no more problem. But you didn't say say Ghana and intimate fan and some more mind come out. What is the problem? Yet Hana a car are buying them fake there's a bank account and a fake banks. And this is same so mine your moka ye kwakutia. Abra na sika bi ani ho. Aban etimika say we contract will be on supply a more over 110,000 metric tons. 50 million Ghana cedis ya na ye tua sika na makwabra ne okoya 50,000 kwa one supply. But what you kana the store ho no a falsify receipt so omo de money nyina ba. Kwabrane right ye fence rice can who be ono so 33,000 maize ye nyamfa mai ye tua ho ka nyina omo de nyina ba. These are criminal dealings. Na the checks and the mechanism in the system. Contract na ya award ye no. E wo hefa. Yetimi emma company say confirm more from Tamale to Kumase. Na ode ko owi a emo na ode ko na ya chem half na dia man say momfa. So enti enne obi di layer ba ko ba be kan. Ebe man aye difficult in terms of contracting as for no na wo can see then akwa obi say akonfo wi ame wo no ukunu tifie na o say akonfo wi ame na waye do na o say o ene me de wires ba be gusuru na yiri sori a o say ompene
I don't
know say akonfo so be am ofie. It means you are part of the people who have been coming to the house. You understand? So for me I think that NPP omu etimi engage consultants in opposition na omu educate omu abebo omu because in opposition this combative aggressive posturing everything we are against that politics na 1990 politics Sa politics, any effectiveness today, especially when you just exited government and executed the biggest heist in the political history of this country. Ghana for in recent times. You think you can suddenly turn around and be the messiah you are a joker. You understand? They need to understand. Maybe they need to engage consultant or modern politics. They are maybe the 1990 politics and still or snow science politics. But my culture said the audience, the consumers of the modern political market, or more Ghana and Yanidaho. And this is your propaganda or no baby question why no crowd you need to make sure say Nyansa is brought to bear to be able to convince the person. You have credible justification about me use you to justify your position. You cannot just spew any nonsense and go. For instance, if you are demanding that your Mahama should go and pay Sikana UK scholarship winner. The question is a crime ban if so I yet me tennis ball cat 23 no go. Now bet much Ghana and son of make it that particular demand. What I say. So I think that these are jokers, they don't even realize where they are. But I'm telling them, sir, maybe they can do some sort of a consultation about Bomo, but sitting on the high hustles, engaging in this buffoon kind of politics, you know. Yeah, time
no so yes, minority alleged state capture mining sector because Ibrahim Mahama or engineers and planners taking over that mines and I think so deputy minority chief whip on still on cocoa tono accusing President Mahama of buying private jet for Ibrahim Mahama rather than paying cocoa farmers. Yeah, was a bit make a way bombe the next 3 minutes now.
You see, this private jet issue, my culture say these people are cowards. You see, omu issue anya because President Mahama are flying in a jet. Their issue has to do with the jet na Ibrahim Akwakotono. Can omu to mean can modern na mention say President AP. I culture say Ibrahim Yagana ni wakoto jet. Na say one tia see now you think say criminal dealings be akoswa. You have every right say obit handing over to if you have good premise. Call for investigation. If nothing at all is related to the president, you can call for investigation. The person who say jet ya branch ya to president in Sawuma now mine sikawum. You can do this. But your enemy said they will have no reasonable basis in Tino. They just want to do the political propaganda around it because I don't know, nobody will call you. Some women grass and can't say they don't prove anything. And this kind of propaganda and it just took that is what they are mistaken because you see, Ibrahim Mahama has been around for quite a long time. Say, or pop it out of the scene. And the brother buy and a wakoto jetta, that would have been a major concern.
Yeah.
And now say jet, you know, what to be paying is somewhere I don't know the year that he bought that particular one. And at the time, if the NPP had misgivings around it, the NPP came to power for 8 good years. They could have subjected Ibrahim's jet no toy, you know, to critical scrutiny. Wakoto jet, Sikanu no hefa. The same thing applies here, you understand? But because they have no basis, they have no justification, and I'm told the gentleman took a loan from a bank in South Africa. And their records are quite clear. How he's going to pay if you want to monitor, you can monitor. So there is no kind of linkage. But they're just struggling to do everything possible to connect Mahama to it on the toy. But if you have basis for it, but Ibrahim is somebody who has been in the business way for quite a long time. So why your business no free say nema kobonea and America no emra bi e wo ho bia no obetimi dia bono so prosecution and as a case now to me prove he will be prosecuted. But until that is done, all these things remain mere assumptions, negative conjecture, and as for the things they can spew on the people because you see John Mahama has been in power for almost a year. Yeah, the economy suddenly appeared more beyond everybody's expectation and imagination. As long as John Mahama is able to build the country up on identity the credibility of the NPP and the opposition. So you need to desperately adopt any foul means to ensure that you overcome some goodness. So they started with the cocoa propaganda. Unfortunately for them, Cote d'Ivoire came and crushed that particular propaganda. So suddenly, you see some more for how that propaganda. Say, the best of the same feathers. And no more for They forget that today Ghana is buying the cocoa at 25,000 Ghana, 2,500. Cote d'Ivoire is 1,500. Difference of almost 1,000 Ghana cedis under the same world market. So Obi Ohaya Bonabaswa shouldn't it be President Mahama? But because these are desperate people, all that they want is power.
Yeah.
So they will just be any nonsense at all with the view of convincing people to buy into whatever propaganda. But what now we say, what means that these are childish propaganda. You don't expect people or more sabi vulnerable way be obedient. Some and we use some of the media as an avenue to do all this propaganda, and nobody is provoking them. Because Cote d'Ivoire price should tell you, say, Ghana is doing something right because Ghana is paying 90% of the FOB price, more than even the promise President Mahama made to the people of this country. So what is your point? You understand? So for me, it's a kind of, I said, my lives not make. I said, your friends are coming. I have born a somewhat market. The NPP is still confused. Maybe they've not been able to come out of the defeat no more so far. But you see, the defeat was not handed to them by anybody, but the people of this country who passed the verdict on their criminal dealings, how they mishandled this country, how they destroyed the economy, how everything in this particular country went wayward to the extent that they targeted individuals. They deemed some people as anti-government enthusiasts. They targeted them to the extent that some people had to run away from this country. That is the point we went to. Under John Mahama, when they free Krumos were criticized by the president now in his engagement even admitted say he will not be a hypocrite to say Ninkrofo are not part of people doing galamsey. This is an honest admission from a president who is willing to confront a problem. Akufo-Addo, even when Wuntubi was busted, Roma informed mpanimfo akasefo mo hyehyɛ mo cha akase omo nim na okotena akɔka kyerɛ omo sɛ o wuntumi nya hwee without an onyanya investigation. And then the same case and I wouldn't be general our court and I court to say asem na omodi aba na so on what basis was Akufo talking to the Catholic priest at the time? What I say. So it's a huge indictment. And we don't do credibility analysis. We do dirty politics because I by force and I say the NDC ni better na the NPP ni better na and so more kasa. So as to whether the panel Kenyans asemo the host in the Juma and so kind of text messages na or jeje, but where they are supposed to put critical questions to the people, no, they don't. So people feel comfortable go and sit on TV and do propaganda. Now me a journalist there. Because I will not allow you, because I will subject you to critical scrutiny to prove beyond every reasonable doubt why you did this and why you think at the time it was right and today it is wrong. What I say? Because you cannot take people for granted. Because most of the arguments going on some of the so-called big platforms, which is seek to insult the people down there watching. Do you understand? So I hardly know who said me follow a lot of discussions. So no. Because when you're careful, you poison your mind. That's why I keep telling people, say, be careful what you consume. Because you might think that you are just watching it for watching sake. But the more you watch, the mind normalize it and become part of you. That is why because you become what you constantly engage in. You understand? So sometimes you need to excuse yourself. Don't listen to such propaganda and those nasty ways. Go to where you get proper information and people will dissect in detail the key component of the issue. We don't come here to influence people's choices and decisions. We give you the information, analyze and make your own informed political choices. At the end of the day, the decision that we make will be backed by fact. Make a decision. That is what we do. And for me, I think that, like I said, there is no sense in some of these things. So NPP they will continue to do some of these things. Politics but they forget to say because of the new media, quite advanced. People can have access to information. They can differentiate your friends say what a constitute they are constitute bad. And for them there are things there they are not when you're privy to this reality. By the time I'm wake up politics, and 11th century politics, BM, 21st arena, and the consumers of the political market na change form and even makola. Man, for Moody Garden as a four corner or no more engage politics, and Nimdia be more Caribbean wouldn't have. Because they understand policies to a extent, say that propaganda will not fly. It's the reason why 2024 Akufo-Addo was humiliated the way he was humiliated. in the form of election defeater. In the history of this country, Obienya Bida. So they should continue to engage in this dirty politics. Ghana for are watching, and I urge President Mahama to continue to do what he's doing. Today he's in BA, engaging. Because people want job, people want things to be done right, people want the economy to be brought back. I know the day, or yes, I near mana. Ghana for will look at what he has done, because my culture says maybe you can never win elections on the weaknesses of your opponent. You can only win on your own strength. So it's a merit-based politics now, and yet propaganda-driven politics. It's the NPP in their fancy elements now. They have decided to pursue propaganda. Maybe somebody need to engage and see such a politics and I don't know trouble.
Let you
yes, you're free why you think you can help emotion sentiment. Oh, we didn't there's anti for I wanna for no. So I'm cross the policies like convince the person adduce reasonable way as or to abamount. Put me convincing. Why not? They will vote for you.
All right, my yana mini abe my vache innocent as papa pana and dear. You can say, hey, for another uni pay man kind of message, dear. May you sure so best send him a personal message. Abonajama, and yes, I only power to me send him a message if it's now, no, they be some say, Thursday and Ivan Eba, and see, I know what's on so. Vincent Ajimai me famous me Chris Love and Ponsa or say I respect you Ivan Thomas Asare Odie ya kanya Nelson I say NPP looted this country as if there was no tomorrow Paul and so edene die aba munyina mpa mcho me mo wai yedamase nyame ya adoma ebenada ya ne obehia na ya ma we no ya kan no back at the sala say you back at the sala na the same thing. I never see a can saying about the sala. Sana cano. Oh, my tia, Minumia Nina, so bash you. Minim sa Cassiano near Cabarca de Salana.
Diana Mukun Piano.
Cassiano. Where they say you're good Chiliano. Into where young cook on them ponchica crab so. Say, wow. May me do a chia metro bomb. Enti yemi anomo mazemi fo nyina ya yakopon se mama hoden a wode ma mo amachire kom musome baako nyame enhira ye nyina na wontie ye mpaebo ewo Yesu Kristo dimo na yesre nkramofo de ade baako mo ye ade power ho ne se omo endi ntro nipa baako pe bi ne tintro na no so ye normal nya ya na ye ba omi ade tro na atase ti nyame ya adoma o kire nyina ye kogu akiriwia no na me say chiri onim se ma anya bi da ba alaji bitimi area mu ho anwumre bia me num kokoni kosi me nya chiri wia no ba anwumre bia me gu achiri wia eti ya me ya do chena se mi kogu no proper what they say ye na obi ase na ye nsere nyankopon bambo ma ye nyina me sro a long weekend we see kasamo nya pe ba bi na tena Davidson tu hofo Usika samonya tu hunfu kwani na baby abeka kwem na afa na obefro bi mesima lokwo baby